Hi, welcome to Real Hype with Rich. It's been a while since I posted something new. This is a YouTube, Instagram, TikTok channel about movies, videos, funny things, trivia facts, things like that. But I want to talk about something very serious now. Very, very debatable, borderline political. You don't want to watch it? Scroll down, because you won't agree. Probably not. I want to talk about sequels. Yes, you heard correctly. Sequels. Specifically sequels that surpass the original. Not many out there, but they are out there. Let's talk about it now. I want to say these not in any particular order, just maybe order of popularity. So let's start off with the real fun one. The Dark Knight. Many people think The Dark Knight is better than the original, and I'm talking about Keaton Burton Batman '89. I'm talking about Nolan Bale trilogy. Many believe Dark Knight is a better film, mainly because of one reason: Heath Ledger's Joker character. Now, I wasn't a fan of Batman Begins. Christian Bale did a good job as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Ledger did an amazing job as Joker. Did he do better as Nicholson? That's debate for another video. But when we watch this movie, we're sitting there waiting for the Joker scenes to come, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for a film. We all just want to see him and get the movie over with. He was that good. Moving on. Next one is James Cameron's 1986 film, sci-fi action film, Aliens. This one, in my opinion, is better, and I think most people would agree. The original Alien, released in '79, was sci-fi horror and was released at a time where sci-fi horror was very, very popular. It's very slow, lots of dialogue, lots of tension, lots of build-up, but catches up in the end and becomes very scary. It's a scary film, but it's also science fiction, whereas Aliens, the sequel, is science fiction action, not very scary. Aliens was made in I call it the action film heyday, the 80s action. However, I saw it before Alien, and I appreciate the actors at the time. I was familiar with them. Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn, things like that. Next one is interesting. This one is better than the original, and the original at one point was the highest grossing movie of all time. Another sci-fi film, The Empire Strikes Back. Or specifically, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, most people who watch my videos don't like Star Wars, so you might not even want to watch this video. What I say about this movie is, out of all the Star Wars, it's the best one of all of them. They don't make movies like the original trilogy anymore. There's 3 trilogies: the original trilogy, prequel trilogy, and sequel trilogy. They don't do that anymore. The original Star Wars came out before I was born, but my father told me that it was the greatest thing ever. He said it was before tickets online, before buying tickets pre-sales, before internet, and the lines were around the corner, and you had no idea if they were sold out or not until you got there. So imagine that. Imagine being online for hours and being right at the front and sold out. Now you can choose days and all that. It's crazy. I think the most I've been in that, something like that, was I think Avengers Endgame. But whatever, getting off topic. I think this is the best one, and people would probably agree. The next one I'm not going to talk too much about, 'cause it's very simple. Everybody, at least 99% of the population, think that the first one is better than the second one. Both these films were nominated for Best Picture, and both these films won. I think it's the only time that Part 1 and Part 2 won. I'm talking about The Godfather, Part 2. I think everyone agrees that the second one is better. Better story. It's a prequel. If you disagree with me, let me know. I'm not talking about that's it. Now for the big one. Now let's talk about a film that I have made enemies from debating this one. People, listen. This movie came out. The first one came out when I was very young. It's a cyberpunk slasher film. The second one is an action film that came out in the early '90s, and they're an action film still, you know. But I'm still loyal to the first one because I saw it when I was very young. It's also one of my favorite films. The second one came out 8 years later, where movies were getting better in special effects, and I think this one won an award for special effects at the time. I've gotten in debates with siblings, co-workers, my best friends, even my wife. My own wife disagrees with me, says the first one's better. And I just hold it up here because it means so much to me. I'm talking about another James Cameron film, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I actually do an entire video of this movie alone. That's how good it is. I like the best one better, but I see why the second would be better. Bigger story, better plot, more action. Schwarzenegger was a good guy in his heyday. This is in his... Schwarzenegger was a peer this time, you know. In the first one, he was... He speak very English, very new at it. So he was a bad guy, and he had less lines. It's genius. But the first one holds nostalgia reasons. That's why I like it so much, you know. I think that if they would have made the first one much better... They made the first movie not knowing the second one would exist. If they would have known it was going to be that successful, they probably would have made it differently. You know, but it's such a good movie, both of them, you know. You know, but 84 didn't have much technology to make it so good. But those are my picks. Do you agree with them? Let me know. Please, I'd love to hear your opinions. Thank you for watching. See you next time.